Hello, Gib. This is infusion number three. I am Nick Carter, and this is for the Entrepreneurship 201 class. So the first thing I want to talk about is the article that you told me to read, the Forget B School, D School's Hot. I actually agree with that article, which is pretty interesting because I really didn't like Pink's book. Um, there is definitely a push towards design in engineering and in higher management leadership. I think that is really important. I don't know if that's any different from in the past. I think in the past, every single step of the way, you've always had to have someone who's extremely interested in design to create any of the products that we've created so far. I just think in the more recent days, we kind of moved a little bit away from design with standardized testing and with a lot more concrete measurements of someone's performance. And so I think the push towards D school and the push away from B school is kind of compensating for that. It's kind of maybe not even going back, but definitely moving towards having people who are a lot more design focused whenever they're creating something. So I thought it was a good article, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It seems incredibly expensive though for some of the Yale classes, which I guess someone like me wouldn't particularly partake in them. But as a business leader and as a CEO, that's probably something really important for upper management to learn. So yes, I did not like the chapter that I had to read at all. I did not like Pink's book, um, at least as far as I have read it. He seems to be arguing for absolute complete creativity, and it seems like he's kind of discounting what people have done in the past and how people have created products through both engineering and design and creativity. I completely disagree with him when he says that, in the information age, L-directed thinking was the only thinking that was viable. Because, well, the book was written in 2005, and I mean, even back then, there were people who were design gods, such as Steve Jobs, and even to a lesser extent, some of the people at Microsoft, who truly changed the game. There were people who were incorporating design into every single little aspect of what they were doing, and they were creating something revolutionary, and it's something we take for granted. The automotive industry. I don't know many of the people there, but the automotive industry is really huge on design, and especially whenever you're designing a factory floor, or like Henry Ford, whenever he designed the assembly line for the Model T, he had to take into account human design and how humans worked and how they interacted with each other and how to best um, put them in a place where they could do the best work. He knew that people, whenever they were doing repetitive motions, they could do it easier and they could do it quicker. So that's why instead of, bussing them around a lot, which may have made sense for some reason, he just kind of kept them at one little place each day, which, allowed for more efficiency, but that was completely based off of human design and understanding humans and having, empathy that had absolutely nothing to do with just straight engineering or understanding the physics of how a car works. And there was also, I mean, the chapter we had to kind of skipped around a little bit, and he did make some good points, but he just seemed to be almost discounting L directed, and saying that there's a small little place for them, but in the future there's barely any place for them, and everybody's gonna have to have an arts degree. And since that book was written in 2005, it's been 10 years, and the information age hasn't exactly ended. We are still currently in it, and we are still currently innovating and coming up with products that we had no idea could exist, a couple years ago. And the book was also very ethnocentric. He was talking about America, and he was talking about all the trends in America, but it kind of seemed like he just assumed that America's trends became worldwide trends. Like, when the information age closes on America, it closes on everybody else. But that's not true, because the information age has just started in some third world countries and some less developed countries like India, and to a certain extent China. And when he was saying, oh, all these jobs are just going to India, we need to, stop doing things that India can do. That was pretty. that wasn't it didn't seem nice. I mean, just because Indians can do it doesn't mean that we can't do it, or doesn't mean that, we can do it better or anything. He was just saying, oh, every single menial job that we could ever have can just be exported to someone who will do it for less. But I don't think that's 100% the truth.